Reporter John Jacob joins us to tell us how it's done. John?
Yeah, Russ, it's called hydroponics, and believe it or not, farmers like it because they can control the environment of the plant. And when I found out it was done locally, I just had to go check it out.
My curiosity took me to Grit's farm in Cross Creek. They grow everything from sweet corn to flowers. But what caught my eye were the 2,500 hydroponic tomato plants, all in a greenhouse. Owner Bob, Grit's father, was the first one in the area to grow tomatoes hydroponically, almost 14 years ago.
Okay, now this is a hydroponic, right? That's what it's called. What does that mean?
Well, it means it's growing without any mineral soil. The roots are sitting in rock wool slabs, which is just a fiber that looks like fiberglass insulation or something.
So it's actually growing in water, not soil.
Right. Every drop of water that comes in through the little tubes will have fertilizer injected into it.
What's the difference between this type of growing the tomatoes this way and doing it in, let's say, your garden at home?
Well, this is just more controlled. We control the fertilizer and the water, the environment. And the only thing we can't control is the sun. It takes a reasonable amount of sun to make a tomato sweet.
How many tomatoes can you expect to get off a plant like this?
Oh, we don't really count them as tomatoes. We count them as pounds, and we'll get somewhere around 20 pounds. That'd be somewhere around 48, 50 tomatoes.
What's the lifespan of one of your plants?
We'll keep them in here till middle of July. Depends on how home gardens are doing, how many tomatoes are on the market.
Ah, so it's more of a supply and demand thing.
Right. People still think outside tomatoes better than inside, but once they start eating them sour outside tomatoes, then they want these sweet tomatoes again.
Yeah, and Bob's right. You really haven't tasted a sweeter tomato till you tried one of these. Now, Russ, I picked one up for you, but unfortunately, since I did this story, I'm kind of addicted to them, and, just can't resist it. Sorry, buddy. Maybe next time.
All right. Thanks, John. And if you have a suggestion for an environmental story, drop us a letter at Environmental Report, WCHS TV 8, 1301 Piedmont Road, Charleston, West Virginia, 25301.
I think he was enjoying
pretty
that.
good, didn't they?
It makes your mouth water, doesn't it? Well, of course, we all want better neighborhoods for our families. And coming up next, we're going to tell you about a group that's doing something about it.
Nice and warm today, but getting a little cloudy.
Yeah.
Tony, what does that say for tonight?
It's getting cloudy and it's getting cooler because we have a cold front pushing through. We'll talk about that and the forecast for tomorrow. We also have some dramatic weather video from South Florida. All that straight ahead.
I'm Ron Sherman for Finn Construction Company here in Charleston, Huntington. Have you thought about a sunroom? You can have one in 2 to 3 days, 4 days tops. This is how we transform your existing deck, porch, or patio into the ultimate indoor-outdoor sunroom. No bugs, no worrying about rained-out barbecues. Call right now to take advantage of our 29th anniversary sale. Save 20% on a new custom-built sunroom. You'll get payments as low as $81 a month, free carpet with the purchase of the sunroom, and call in right now for your free video to let us show you how easy it is to have your very own sunroom.
As the school year went on, her grades started to decline.
When the parent says, I think there's a problem, we say, well, then there probably is.
I didn't want to wait. What was I waiting for?
The longer you wait, the more the child falls behind.
There's certain skills that they build on for later.
We fill that gap. We teach them those skills.
That's the silver difference.
All parents want the best for their children.
Today, I think kids need the best possible start.
They want to give them the world.
Better grades are just the beginning. Call Sylvan today, 744-4144.
We're online at www.wchstv.com. Website services provided by New Wave.
Welcome to the Furniture Shop. If you have a flair for decorating or need assistance, we're here to serve you. Browse our quiet, luxurious atmosphere. Enjoy our large selection of unusual accessories, beautiful woods and fabrics, together in room settings, sure to give you many decorating ideas. And right now, we're overstocked and offer tremendous savings on all Bernhardt, Century, Hickory, White, and Lexington, plus all accessories. So hurry, stop by today. The Furniture Shop, in the same block as Women and Children's Hospital.
In the month of May, an orbital shift will align the planet Mercury with Earth, creating a phenomenon at your Mercury dealer. Savings that could only be imagined yesterday will become reality, like $1,000 cash back on all the space of Grand Marquis with room for 6, or $1,000 cash back on the stylish Mercury Sable with a powerful V6. The deals are out of this world, but they'll be gone faster than the speed of light. So beam yourself to your Mercury dealer today.
All right, this was the scene earlier this afternoon from Miami where a tornado moved over water, became a water spout, and has caused a lot of damage, a lot of injuries, but no fatalities, a lot of damage. You can see the transformers down there being ripped up along Key Biscayne. So a lot of activity across South Florida. For the time being, it's quiet, but there is more showers and thunderstorms moving into that area. No showers and thunderstorms in our area. Earlier this afternoon, we got up to about 70 degrees, but since then, the temperature has been falling throughout the course of the afternoon with the clouds and the approach of that cold front. Normals for this time of the year, 74 and 50. Your records, 90 and 35. Just started raining, so look for that precipitation total to come up tonight at 11. And a very, very narrow band of rain is in association with that cold front from Wheeling southwestward into Huntington. Now it is raining in Charleston, but at 5 o'clock it wasn't. And with the sunshine across southeastern areas, they are approaching the 70-degree mark around Bluefield and Lewisburg. Look at the reading in Martinsburg, 73 degrees. But again, where it is raining and where those clouds are, we have temperatures in the low to mid 50s. We take it to the satellite. Here is what's going on, folks. Here is that line of showers. No thunderstorms. Again, these are low to mid-level clouds, so we're not anticipating any type of thunder shower activity. As we expand our view, this is going to be the problem within this forecast period. We have that upper low, the surface cold front, and these little disturbances, one after the other, will be rotating into our area. So the timing of them is going to be difficult. And then we have another area of low pressure down around here, and you can see more showers and thunderstorms getting ready to push into South Florida. So that activity should race off to the east-northeast. That's not going to be our problem. The problem is, will these little weather disturbances bring us the chance for showers? I think they will, but they are going to be on and off. We're going to have more sunshine as opposed to rain shower activities. So that's the good news. Here is that line of showers with the cold front. Here's our second weather disturbance, and yet a third one beginning to push southward out of Canada. Take you back to the maps. Here's what's going on. We'll put the maps into motion. Again, low pressure rides northeastward. The cold front pushes through tonight. We get a temporary reprieve tomorrow night, but early on Wednesday, I think another disturbance will swing through, and there will be the chance for more showers. Here's your forecast highs for tomorrow. Again, the big trough, cooler in the north and east where you and I will be with readings in the 50s and 60s. Nice and warm across the south and east with readings in the 70s and 80s. Here's forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy, scattered showers, an overnight low of about 44 degrees. If you have plans for tomorrow, mostly cloudy, maybe a shower early on, more sunshine late in the afternoon. A high of about 63. If you have plans for tomorrow night, not too bad early on, but with that next weather feature, the clouds begin to increase. Overnight low, 44. And in that 5-day forecast, again, looks like rain shower activity for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we just can't lick the rain. Maybe by the end of the week with readings 70 to 75, we can finally get out of this cool trend. I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah, no precipitation during the winter, so I guess this is making up for it now. Yeah. Not too pleasant. Thanks, Tony. A celebration of volunteerism is going on tonight in Huntington as City Council recognizes 11 community organizations for their efforts to improve their neighborhoods. One such group is the Altizer Together neighborhood group. The organization is working on several community improvement projects, including cleaning up this park.
Well, I think the motivation, we're all proud of Altizer. It's a great community to raise your children. You know, it's a very family-oriented community. We have a lot of dedicated citizens here in Altizer.
Each of the 11 neighborhood groups will be recognized at tonight's council meeting, which gets underway at 7:30 at Huntington City Hall.
Good work. Well, coming up next, they usually do for others, but today some special volunteers were the ones receiving the attention and recognition.
And we're going to have details on these very special people when we come back.
And just ahead in sports, after a week of speculation in Lexington, the Tubby Smith era is underway at Kentucky. I'm Dave Weekley with that and more in a moment. Stay tuned.
Freeland Furniture is celebrating 52 years of business on Charleston's west side with an explosion of bargains. Right now, during this anniversary sale, take advantage of money-saving prices on everything they sell. Sofas, chairs, solid wood bedrooms and dining rooms, bedding and outdoor furniture, everything has been reduced for this anniversary sale. Plus, register to win an outdoor dining room set from the Comfort Zone. 6 months, same as cash financing is available, so don't miss the savings. It's the anniversary sale at Freeland going on now on Charleston's convenient west side.
This car's been around for 30 years. Plan to keep yours a while?
If your new or used car is rust protected by Z-Mart, it's protected for as long as you own it.
Guaranteed. Despite manufacturing improvements, cars still rust.
So you can go to Z-Mart or store your car in a cave.
Save $50 on Z-Mart Super Rust Protection. Now only $279.95.
For over 35 years, Z-Mart. Survival gear for cars.
Hi, my name is Major Harris, and I want to talk to you about my friends at Alternative Lending. How much easier would your life be if you can just pay one payment a month instead of paying a dozen different bills? Or maybe your credit isn't exactly what it used to be and you need a second chance. Maybe you need some cash for a new deck, or go on a vacation, or any other good reason. If the loan makes sense, Alternative Lending will do it. Take it from Major Harris. Make the call to Alternative Lending at 1-800-897-REFI.
News 8 Sports brought to you by Joe Holland Chevrolet and Imports, South Charleston.
Nearly 40 years ago, when my father acquired Joe Holland Chevrolet in South Charleston, he made one promise, and that promise was to provide total customer satisfaction. Granted, our volume pricing strategy allows us to sell for less, but price alone does not sell vehicles. You know, our philosophy has paid off. Nearly half the business we have today comes from return customers. And that goes to show you that if you care about completely satisfying a customer, you earn a customer for life.
Get the deal that you deserve, Joe Holland.
Last week, Dave reported that Tubby was the man. Now he's officially the man.
He's the man. He's still the man. We said he was the man last week. He's still the man tonight. Orlando Tubby Smith was named today as the new basketball coach at Kentucky. Tubby got a 5-year deal to try and uphold the tradition of UK hoops. Smith is a former Rick Pitino assistant in Lexington, and he says once the job was offered to him by C.M. Newton, he was ready for a return to the bluegrass country.
You know, I'm not Rick Pitino, and I'm not going to try to be Rick Pitino, but I know that I can. I know what I'm capable of doing, and I know what we will be doing and what we will be trying to do, and that's to produce good kids, good people in our programs. We're going to recruit the best type of people we can with good character and heart and courage. So.
Smith says that recruiting is his top priority now. George is now in the market for a new coach. Among the names being tossed around, Tulane's Perry Clark, Dave Odom at Wake, Chattanooga's Mac McCarthy, and NC State's Herb Sendak. From baseball, the Charleston Alley Cats begin a 3-city, 7-game Sally League road trip tonight with a first of 2 games at Cape Fear. The Alley Cats start the night percentage points ahead of Cape Fear atop the league's Northern Division. Charleston will return to Whitehall Park a week from tonight to host Greensboro. Now, from the major leagues, after going 4-5 on their road trip in California, the Reds are idle tonight before hosting the first-place Giants in Cincinnati tomorrow night. And according to today's edition of the LA Times, the O'Malleys will be selling the Los Angeles Dodgers within the next 2 months. Owner Peter O'Malley can't reveal the potential buyer, but it's believed to be media mogul Rupert Murdoch. The sale of the Dodgers could be worth as much as $400 million. Today at the Players Club in Charleston, the West Virginia Class AAA Region 7 tennis championships took place. According to coordinator Carolyn Tyree, this is a strong year for high school tennis in West Virginia.
I think this is a very good year. Huntington has a real good team. Charleston Catholic's good. GW's good. South Charleston has a good team. So, all in all, I believe that tennis is up. And we are fortunate enough to have this state tennis tournament back in Charleston this year.
The Patriots of George Washington won both the boys and girls team competition in the Class AAA Region 7 championships today. The state tourney, which is coming back to Charleston, is now just 2 weeks away. And as we speak, Larry Bird is accepting the head coaching position of the Indianapolis Pacers, and it looks like John Andretti may get to race in the Indianapolis 500 after all. A.J. Foyt wants him to drive one of his 3 cars in the race.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Well, they have given countless hours of their time and effort to make the community they live in a better place. And today they got some much-deserved recognition. For that, the governor and First Lady were among those on hand to honor the 1997 Jefferson Award winners. This national award is given to volunteers who go beyond on the call of duty to help others. The winners are Frankie Capocepalo, Wade Fleetwood, Wayne Hughes, Melvin McDaniel, Dr. Fred Meyer, and Jay Nowak. Our congratulations.
West Virginia is home to many species of animals, but one animal born over the weekend is a first for the Mountain State.
Yeah, we'll give you a look when we come back.
I'm Ron Sherman for Finn Construction.
You know, every initial observer who came here after this republic was founded came away saying what made us distinctive wasn't just that we were a democracy, but that we were engaged in this volunteerism, that we helped each other, that neighbor helped neighbor build a barn, that when barn caught on fire, neighbors descended on the property to put the fire out and then built it back up again, that neighbor helping neighbor, that's the American story. And it was when Thomas Jefferson was alive, it is now.
Today you'll meet 6 outstanding individuals who've made an impact on the lives of those around them through their unselfish sacrifices as we present the 13th Annual Jefferson Award presentations from the American Institute of Public Service and from WCHS-TV. I'm Jo Corey, and I'd like to welcome you to this very special event saluting the 1997 Jefferson Award winners. The Jefferson Awards are given each year to those individuals who are making outstanding contributions to their communities in the area of public service. They may be paid or volunteers, but one thing that they all have in common is that they care very deeply about their communities and the people who live there. During today's presentation, you'll meet them, the judges who selected them, and our very special keynote speaker, the governor of the state of West Virginia, Cecil Underwood, and our gracious First Lady, Hova Underwood, both of whom are very well respected and above all very well liked. Each of our winners will receive a beautiful medallion signed by Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, Bob Taft Jr., and Samuel Beard. They'll also receive the Distinguished West Virginian Award from our governor. I'd like you to meet our judges now, who year after year give of their precious time to help us select our winners, and for this I'm very grateful. They are the Honorable Mayor of the City of Charleston, Mayor Kemp Melton, who's a very dear friend of mine and has been for many years.
Thank you very much, Joe, Governor Underwood and Mrs. Underwood. I'm honored to be here, quite frankly. I've been a judge for a number of years. I can't think of any more pleasant nor honorable service to give to your community and your state than being a judge for the Jefferson Awards. West Virginia is very fortunate that we have volunteers. Our community of Charleston is above most cities in our country simply because of the volunteers. Look around our city, you'll see what I mean. We're honored that West Virginia and Charleston can have so many volunteers and so many good people, and the Jefferson Award are one small way that we can thank these people. So I'm honored to be here. I'm delighted to see all of you. Thank you very much.
And the conductor of the West Virginia Symphony could not be here today, but Renee is here, and we thank you for coming, and we thank him for all his help. President, Mountaineer Gas Company, Mr. Richard Grant.
I wanted to thank Joe and thank Channel 8, and thank you, Governor, and Mrs. Underwood for coming as well. I've also been doing this for several years, and this is one of those few instances where every part about it is an absolute joy, and it's an honor and a privilege to be able to participate in this. I want to again thank Joe and thank Channel 8, but more importantly thank the recipients, because it truly is an honor to honor you and to be a part of this process. So thank you very much.
President of the West Virginia Wesleyan College, President William Hayden.
Good afternoon, Governor and Mrs. Underwood. Those of us who work in higher education place great value on volunteerism and in the recognition of those who give of their time and their talent in the service of others. This award program is an exceptional example of recognition to those who are being honored today. I say congratulations. By your being here with us today, you honor us. Thank you.
The President of the Associated Architects, Mr. Paul Tennant.
I'd like to take this opportunity to say that I'm really honored to be here today, to be associated with such a caring group of people. Thank you very much.
Last but not least, the President of the University of Charleston. Since we always do it in alphabetical order, unfortunately, he's always the last one, but not the least one.
Thank you, Joe. Governor, Mrs. Underwood. And the tallest one, right, Governor? It is humbling for me to be a part of this enterprise and to recognize the volunteers. On behalf of the people who benefit from your service, I want to say a word of thanks, but also I want to say that there are countless others that you will never know about, people that you inspire because you have demonstrated to us that an individual truly can make a difference in a community. So thank you very, very much for what you've done.
Also not able to be here due to a conflict is Chris Jarrett, President of the West Virginia American Water Company. It's certainly been my pleasure to work with these gentlemen, and I thank them very much for their valuable help. I'd like now to introduce the head of our award-winning news department, Dave Collins, our news director. And three members of his outstanding news team, Mary Sue Jackson, Russ Riesinger, and Tony Manolfi. And someone who used to be with Channel 8 and is now the governor's press secretary, Wendy Griffith. We were sorry to lose Wendy, but I'm sure she'll do a good job where she is. At the helm of our television station is someone who encourages WCHS with his enthusiastic support to continue with the Jefferson Awards year after year. I'm pleased to present our president and general manager and my boss, Dennis Adkins.
Thank you, Joe. Once again, you've done a marvelous job bringing us all together to honor these deserving individuals. It's an honor and a privilege to introduce to you the governor of our state. Cecil Underwood is a man who's been out front in the area of volunteerism. He has just recently sent a delegation to take part in President Clinton's Volunteer Summit, but West Virginians have never had to wait for Washington to pitch in and help. Governor Underwood's Mission West Virginia will make sure that our citizens who need help will get it from a coordinated volunteer effort. It's with pride and pleasure I present West Virginia's #1 volunteer, the Honorable Cecil H. Underwood.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Ho and I have enjoyed volunteering for most of our life, and now it's nice to be paid for our job. Mayor Melton, thank you for hosting this event here today, as you do so many things so well. And thank you and all of the other judges for giving your time and your personal interest and commitment to recognizing people who do great things for our state. I think the award is appropriately named. Thomas Jefferson wrote his own epitaph, and for all of his accomplishments in a long, use-filled life, he asked to be remembered for three things: the author of the Virginia Resolution for Religious Freedom, the author of the Declaration of Independence, and the founder of the University of Virginia. No mention that he was the first Secretary of State, no mention that he was the third president, no mention that he represented our country in its early years at the great capitals of the world, no mention of all the other things. For he believed that for this new nation to be successful, that it must have an educated people enjoying the freedom of a political system and the freedom to exercise their religious beliefs and commitments. And so I think this is a very appropriate name for the award that recognizes people who are willing to go well beyond the normal pursuits of life, to share their talents, to share their resources and their compassion with people who need it. We have just witnessed an historic call to action in Philadelphia during the President's National Summit just a little more than a week ago. And I'm glad that West Virginia had a full delegation participating in that event, and we will be doing appropriate follow-ups here in West Virginia to make sure that we carry out the goals of the National Summit. But we began our efforts to recognize and use volunteers long before the summit was held. During my inaugural weekend, I announced plans to launch Mission West Virginia. And we will be announcing the details of that program very shortly. I discover every day new volunteer efforts in this state. We have literally thousands of volunteers doing great things. And the response to my invitation for volunteers to help with the governing of the state of West Virginia has been so overwhelming that we are almost inundated with volunteers, and we are unable to set up the organization to take care of all the people who are willing to help. That's a nice challenge to have. It's the kind of growth challenge that every one of these people at this table would like to have in their business or in their universities. And so I think the people of West Virginia have, first of all, a tradition of helping one another. I was born and reared in rural West Virginia, and it was a helping, sharing society. We didn't have that much money, but we didn't realize we were poor. We just went out and together did everything that was necessary. And what I want to accomplish with Mission West Virginia is, first of all, to identify as many of the volunteer efforts going on as it's possible to do, and then using the churches as a focal point because they link us with every crossroad and community in the state, and they have facilities that are not overused, where they bring people and families together and discover areas where there are pockets of people who need help who aren't getting it, so that we can muster all of our strength in West Virginia and reach every single person out there who needs help. And we are well on our way. It's going to be a great effort. It's going to be a very rewarding effort, and it will make our state bigger, better, and stronger, and make us ready to take advantage of the new times, the new opportunities of the 21st century. Let me congratulate all of you who are being recognized today. Thank the station, thank all of the judges and those of the others who have participated to make this program successful over so many years. West Virginia is better because of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Today we honor 6 very special people who without reward have contributed their time, their talent, their money, and their love so that others can have a little bit better life. We're pleased to present this prestigious award of our 1997 Jefferson Awards to our winners. And in alphabetical order, they are, if you gentlemen would kindly sit over here. First, Frankie Capocephalo of Cross Lanes, West Virginia. After a family member became mentally ill, she was instrumental in the formation of the West Virginia Alliance for the Mentally Ill. Frankie.
when a child is attacked by this disease of schizophrenia is terrible. It's awful what the family goes through.
Frankie Capocepalo knows that firsthand. After a perfectly normal childhood, her son Bob was diagnosed with schizophrenia during his freshman year of college, a severe mental disorder in which a person is unable to act or reason in a rational way.
There's so much stigma that's attached to this illness that people didn't talk about it back in those days.
But Frankie began talking about mental illness and hasn't stopped. She formed the West Virginia Alliance for the Mentally Ill, a group which helps educate others about mental illness and support families who must cope with it.
If mental illness comes into your home, learn as much about it as you can and remember to love that person. They need all the love that they can receive, especially from their families.
It's that love and that desire to help others that makes Frankie Capocepalo a Jefferson Award winner.
Our second winner is Wade Fleetwood of Dunbar, West Virginia, who was very active in volunteer work, and even after losing sight in one eye, continued volunteering, and last year alone drove 2,277 miles without compensation for Kanawha Hospice. Wade Fleetwood.
I'm happy to have won it, but I don't care that much about being recognized, really.
Being a Jefferson Award winner is a bit overwhelming for Wade Fleetwood. He's been helping others for as long as he could remember because that's the way it's supposed to be.
Just feel it's a thing to do, and through the church and through teachings, I guess, of the church and Christianity, that's the thing. It's just what we're supposed to do. Hi, is this Miss Pitchford?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got Meals on Wheels.
The retired carbide engineer not only delivers meals to shut-ins around the valley, he also spends countless hours volunteering for Kanawha Hospice. Last year alone, he drove more than 2,000 miles for hospice and performed 143 separate duties, such as delivering hospital equipment to in-home patients.
Very good. See you later.
So how long will this tireless volunteer keep on volunteering?
I hope I can keep on going. I noticed that one of the Jefferson Award winners is 88 years old. I hope I can keep my health long enough to continue working there.
Wayne Hughes of Ravenswood, West Virginia, who's devoted 50 of his 88 years serving on the Western Soil Conservation Board, and mostly without pay, who's developed or helped to develop plans for 6 dams protecting Ripley and surrounding area from future flooding. Wayne Hughes.
Stay here for years.
Wayne Hughes has witnessed a lot of changes in his 87 years in Jackson County, but one of the changes for the better is the Mill Creek Watershed Project, a dam system Hughes helped develop.
The flood in March proved that the dams had done exactly what we thought they would do, and they did. And they saved the flooding of the town of Ripley, allowed Ripley to develop into the county, the town that it is, and things are really looking up.
In 50 years of working with the Western Soil Conservation District, Hughes has never been paid. He's donated his time to the Watershed Project, and that project turned a floodplain into an economic vehicle that benefits the entire county. His work with the Western Soil Conservation District will benefit generations of West Virginians who will never have to know the devastation of flooding. The Jefferson Award isn't the first time Hughes has been honored. He's been named Outstanding Soil Conservation District Supervisor, and he's been inducted into the Agriculture Hall of Fame. But recognition is not the motivation behind Hughes' work.
It is a natural thing for me to do. I didn't look for any prestige or honor out of it. And same with this award business here now. I got the glory of serving.
And Wayne Hughes has served his neighbors well. Martin Staunton, News 8, Jackson County.
Congratulations, Mr. Hughes. And then Melvin Mcdaniel of Glasgow, West Virginia, who spends his retirement days helping school children. With his tireless efforts and his generosity, he's increased the number of straight-A students and reduced the number of dropouts. Melvin Mcdaniel.
It's a familiar sight at Montgomery Middle School, seeing Melvin McDaniel taking time out for a one-on-one conversation with a student.
Whenever they get a whole lot of stuff on the blackboard, then you write it all down, take it home.
Mac isn't a teacher, and he's never been one. Actually, he's a retired telephone worker who is answering another calling in life.
There was 19 of them, and they had 20-some F's on the report cards. And I just kept at it, and I said, hey, you got to take your books home and work at it.
Mac has been encouraging students for the last 15 years. His dropout prevention program reduced the rate at Valley High School by 50%.
I helped him fix the telephone cords to the telephones, and then sometimes we just talk in the hall about my grades, and he tells me how I can help do my grades.
And Mac has become famous for his golden horseshoes that he makes for more than 200 state winners every year.
She says, thanks to you, I have realized all of my dreams.
And thanks to Mac, a lot of dreams have come true. Natalie Tennant, News 8, Montgomery.
Dr. Fred Meyer of South Charleston, West Virginia, an accomplished musician and a professor of music who's tirelessly taught children interested in learning how to play an instrument. Dr. Meyer.
One, one, two, one.
The faces are young and their talents raw. But these young students at Pratt Elementary are learning more than just notes and chords from their teacher. Dr. Fred Meyer is a professor at a local university, but after school on Mondays and before classes begin on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the South Charleston resident travels to Pratt Elementary to share his love of the violin and cello. It all started 4 years ago when Dr. Meyer was awarded a small teaching grant. But when the grant money ran out, Dr. Meyer decided to stay. At first, many of these young students may gaze with disbelief at the violins and cellos, but soon, with a watchful eye and encouragement,
now get your thumb up.
their tiny fingers will make the strings come alive.
They have to memorize pieces, and their scores on ACT tests will improve as a result of having to do this sort of thing.
And it's because of his unselfish generosity, Dr. Fred Meyer is a Jefferson Award winner. Eric Wells, News 8, Pratt.
Sergeant J. Nowak of Summersville, West Virginia, who's visited many, many schools to tell children about the dangers of drugs. And he did this mostly when he was off duty. I'm sorry he's not able to be here with us today.
Buddy was a black Labrador retriever.
But for Sergeant J. Nowak, Buddy was a lot more than a pet.
He was a partner. He stayed with me all the time, just day in and day out. Buddy was right there beside me.
For 6 years at the Summersville Police Department, Buddy did an award-winning job of sniffing out drugs.
Marijuana, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines.
As a team, Nowak and Buddy brought an anti-drug message to school children.
They loved Buddy, and Buddy loved them.
Buddy's finest hour was here in 1994. Nowak was responding to a domestic dispute when a suspect started firing shots at him. You can still see one of the bullet holes here in the mailbox post. So Buddy sprang into action.
Goes up and starts barking at the guy and snapping at him.
Earlier this year, Buddy was diagnosed with cancer of the lymph nodes. Nowak had to put him to sleep.
That was a real rough day. They keep asking me if I want another dog, but at this point I really don't.
And while Nowak dearly misses his partner, he knows that Buddy left his mark. Matthew Hilk, News 8, Summersville.
You know, there are a lot of heroes in the terrible floods of last year, and of this year. And most of these heroes we won't hear about. But we received a letter we'd like to share with you. In the small community of Seabrook, West Virginia in Pocahontas County, 25 homes were washed away and people were left with nothing but the clothing that they were wearing. And they had no way to get to the outside world to tell them of their desperate need. There was a baby who was crying nonstop for 2 days, and a gentleman was standing there and asked why the baby was crying and what the problem was. And they explained that the baby had to have a special kind of milk in order to survive, and so it happened to be that he was a ham operator. He stepped outside and radioed someone in Richwood, West Virginia, and within a couple of hours, food rolled in, clothing rolled in, and special milk for the baby. And the people of Seabrook were so appreciative, they wanted to nominate the Nicholas Amateur Radio Club for the Jefferson Award. But since we're not set up to give awards to groups of people, just individuals, we were so moved by the letter, we decided to give them an honorable mention. Today with us, Bill Gardner, who was the club president at the time. Bill? And Dorsey Kelly, who's the current president. And Dorsey was the ham operator that the letter was written about. Thank you both. We'd like now to congratulate all of our 1997 winners. Albert Einstein once said, "Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile." And that's what you've done. Calvin Coolidge once said, "No person was ever honored for what he received. Honor has been the reward for what he gave." And so we honor you today for what you've given. Thank you.
The Supreme Court ceremony every year is just another tearjerker. You've got to be impressed by the place, the physical beauty of the place itself and what it represents. The highest court in our land and the place where we Americans come to settle our differences in a peaceful way. So you look at these national award winners and you think, you know, this is a hell of a country. This is quite a place.
It really boils down to each of us can make a difference. And if you have the concept that you can make a difference and the courage to proceed, I think one of the big examples that comes out of the unsung heroes in Washington is that you can't stop these people and that anybody can do it. And all you have to do is just see something that's wrong and make up your mind you're going to do something about it, and then don't stop to think, just proceed. And out of that energy, out of the concepts, out of the dreams, is really the spirit of America.
Thomas Jefferson said, "If in the course of my life it has been in any degree useful to the cause of humanity, the fact itself bears its full reward." You can make a difference in your own community. I'm Julian Bond.
Please stand by. There is nothing wrong with your television set.
For your peace of mind, we practice law for you. We practice law for your peace of mind. Sutter and Den's line. A daytime to remember.
Hello, I'm Reba McIntyre, and I know it's the middle of May, but I'm chilled to the bone just thinking about today's General Hospital Daytime to Remember. You ought to bundle up yourself. Because we're going to journey back to a time when the evil Cassadine brothers threatened to take control of the world by freezing it with a diabolical weather machine. I know this seems a bit far-fetched, but try telling that to the people of Port Charles. On what should have been a balmy summer day, the temperature was dropping fast. If someone didn't stop the Cassadines, Port Charles would freeze over. Fortunately, that someone was Luke Spencer, who, along with his girl Laura and their pal Robert Scorpio, had infiltrated the Cassadines' underground compound and found their way to the command center. Now, it was up to Luke to find a way to stop the weather machine. He had no choice. If he couldn't crack the code to turn off the machine, then all his friends back home would die. That's the situation in this classic episode from the summer of 1981. So button up now and check into General Hospital as we begin the adventure of the Ice Princess.
Yes, sir, somewhere off the coast of Venezuela. Yes, sir, I'll be here on 24-hour call. Yes, sir. Apparently, Nikos Cassadine knows that we've been tracking his radio signals. Everything's gone dead.
Isn't there another way of finding that island?
Yes, by a grid crisscross search by air. That's exactly what we're doing right now.
That could go on forever. It may be too late.
Audrey, we can't even consider that possibility. They'll find that island. They've just got to.
Steve, it's impossible to believe, but it's 40 below out there and the temperature's dropping at 5 degrees an hour.
Good Lord. Not much of anything can live in that kind of weather. Nikos is certainly going through with his threat.
We've got to find that island and stop him.
Well, Nikos is going to find out he's got a fight on his hands. We're not going to give up that easily.
It won't be much of a fight, Steve. The hospital oil supply is down to almost at fumes. Not to mention the patients stacked up for OR availability, and that's not counting the emergencies. Keep coming in every hour.
Monica and Rick are going to have their hands full.
That they are. City Power and Water companies told me that they expect a power failure any minute. I don't know what to do anymore, Steve.
Minutes to 0 hour.
Turn it loose! Damn it! Turn loose!
All right. Computer. A sequence of letters, a word. A word. Cassadine. C-A-S-I-N-E. Nikos! I need help. Laura!